When the game gets tough, the tough ones start to play at Armor Attack.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Armor Attack Italy. Today's video is going to be the first one of two, maybe three, but most likely two. And about this new upgrade, the 1.5. On that upgrade already, there has been already a hotfix, another little upgrade, so things are still moving, changing. About this upgrade, there's been quite some turmoil on Discord and all that, so we'll see if things are going to be changed even more or not. I believe that the part that has to do with the characters, the weapons, the upgrade system, that will remain. There could be changes, more changes when it comes to the game economy, and I will do that in a different video. For today, we are going to look at characters, weapons, upgrades, and stuff like that. Now, the first thing that I have to tell you about is about characters and weapons of the different factions, because with this upgrade, each and every character, weapon, they had some buffs and nerfs and this and that too, and there was a complete rebalance of the whole situation. So you will find that some of the robots were slower, faster, they still had the same HP, maybe not. The weapon had a bigger or a smaller clip, the DPS have changed, and lots of stuff. But I can assure you that on the test server for the last 2 months, it's been absolutely incredible. We had quite a few different versions to test, and each version had so many changes that sometimes we didn't even have enough time to test all of them. Anyway, one thing, if you ask me, and if you notice here, I have, except for the Cinder, it's all a level 21, and the same goes, and the weapons are, even those are between 18, oops, 18, okay, so everything is between 18 and 21, okay. In each hangar the situation is about the same, okay. Here you see the weapon are 18. On this one, for example, here I'm already at 21, but basically that's my situation on the live server. And nowadays I'm more or less getting the same results with each one of the hangars. If I have to give them a ranking, let's say, maybe Bastion at the moment is a bit weaker, Hermit is about in the middle position, and Imperial is a bit stronger than the other. But battle wise, I almost get the same results between Imperial and Hermit. With Bastion, not as much, but I can even play well with these, no problem. They don't match. Bastion doesn't match very much my playstyle, so for me it's more difficult to achieve good performances with this hanger instead of Hermit and Imperial. And of course, for some of you, could be absolutely the other way around, where you don't really like to play with Imperial and Hermit, and you love to play with Bastion. But that's normal. So we had this big rebalance of every character and weapon. A lot of people, a lot of players were not happy about it because, of course, they said, hey, this is not the same thing that I had before. And especially in the first days, when there has been that conversion part, no one was happy. And in fact, there was a hot fix in just a few days. There is still a lot of turmoil about the game economy, but I will talk about that in the next video. Just as an initial information, I tell you that I really do not like this new economy for many reasons. But let's go instead into something that is a bit more delicate to this degree. And to do this, I'm going to choose my friend Acrid, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay, now this is the new upgrade system. We don't have 9 levels anymore, we have 25. Oh boy. We don't have 2 different kinds of token per fraction, but we have 3. And every kind of token does certain specific things. It's not like before where we had characters tokens and weapons tokens. No, the same token are used for the character and for the weapon. It's always green, blue, and purple. But each one of them works more on certain things than others. Okay? So some work more, for example, on the HP, on what happens to the active ability and stuff. They tweak the parameters in a different way. Okay. There is one thing that I like very much, and though I will need okay, let's use the star color, and that is that you see exactly what each no, maybe a level 3 will be better. We'll see if a level 3 works better. Yep. And you see exactly what parameter is going to be changed by a certain upgrade. Okay? Before we had much more generic information and not all of what was actually changed, but that upgrade was visible. So to this degree, this new system, it's, in my opinion, is better than the old one. And another thing is that you can upgrade your characters in any way. I mean, I can start with the green ones and just keep going with the green ones all the way until it's maxed out. And then I start with the blue. Or I could do the first upgrade of the three kinds and continue like this. If you look at what I have, it's exactly that. I've been going, by like circles, and so I was upgrading this one, then this one, second, third, fourth, but for each kind of upgrade, the green, the blue, and the purple. And so now I'm left with the very last ones. Okay? And that one goes both for characters and weapons. But there is one thing about this new system of upgrades, and that is about the resources. And here things are not so nice. And this one, my friend, is nowadays situation when it comes to what you need to upgrade either a character or a weapon to level 25, because now we don't have the 9 levels anymore, we have 25. Alright, so we have a 400% increase on the number of tokens that you need and 250 on the silver you need. And by itself, this could mean less than zero, because it all depends on how much resources we are able to collect. Okay? And this is the part that I do not like of the new economy, but I'm gonna do a separate video on that. But let's go for some examples. Here we are. Now, for the example, I'm going to use the Cinder because it's on level 18. Okay, and that should be something like level 7, maybe 6.5. Anyway, let's go to this. If you remember, to do level 8 and level 9 before was a bit difficult, right? Both for the silver and the tokens. Let's see how the situation is now. I need these upgrades, okay, to get the character at level 25, to get maxed out. Now let's see what that means though, because level 18 is not easy to achieve, because it takes really resources to get even up to level 18. Now let's see what happens for the final part of the grade, right? Because let's say that the part between 18, 19 to 25 is the one that is going to make the bigger difference. So, when it comes to the green tokens, we are going to need, okay, 2,250 of the green token just for the last 2 updates. And on the other side though, and this is the cheapest part, we are going to need 50,000 silver. Okay? When it comes to the blue one, they're already not so easy to collect. We are going to need 1,250. Okay, and 110,000 silver. If we go on the purple one, which are the ones that are quite difficult to collect, and to give you an example, I'll show you my situation right now. And as you see, that part is, compared to the others, this one are really, you don't really collect many of these. Okay? Really just a few. And therefore, to do this last 3 upgrade, where I will need 250 of them. 350. Okay? And just to make it very easy, these 3 upgrades are going to need 210,000 silver. So when you will get to this part, when you get finally to level 18, to do all this last part of the upgrades, you will need, in total of all different kinds of tokens, you will need 3,850. I mean, with that kind of tokens, we will be able to take 2 characters or 1 character in 1 level or level 9. And you're going to need 370,000 silver. And more or less, you would have done the upgrade a level 9 tokens and silver of a character and 1 weapon. But again, it all depends on how many resources you can collect from the game. Okay, so all these new kinds of chests, the quest, the operation, the store, all right, to open these and that. And that takes some explanation, because it's a bit sorry, and the letters board, and you got even some resources from this one. So there has been this big rebalance. The upgrade system has different, you have, let's say, put it this way, you have different ways to get to certain level of upgrade. Okay, because you can go from 1, work on the 3 of them and everything. With what I just told you about the last part of the upgrade, looking at the cost and the numbers of tokens that you need, at that point the modules could represent a very important part, because the modules, you get them from free in the operation, and the fusion cost, okay, the fusion cost, it's going to be easier to have the resources to do the fusions than to collect all these tokens. Okay, and in case you change your mind about a certain character, you can always remove the module and insert it in a different character. Okay, I'll give you the example. on a Hermit, okay, a token that is a module that is installed, I can either upgrade it doing the fusion, but I can also extract it. So if for one reason one day you will have a Genesis, a level 18, 19, stuff like that, you're not really sure, maybe there is another character coming out and everything, maybe it could be not too bad to place the modules, but don't place modules just because you have them. Okay, don't do that. It's gonna cost you a lot, either to do the fusion and then to extract them. So look very carefully, pay a lot of attention on what you think that character needs. Okay? For example, on the Genesis, what I did is I didn't went for the armor, because more or less the Genesis is strong, it has the overgrowth with the active ability, so it's quite okay. I wasn't much interested in the cooling to get the active ability to recharge faster, even because the active ability nowadays doesn't do, you see, maximum goes up to 40,000 HP. Yeah, weapons now don't do one shot, one kill, but it's still not much. So what I thought was, I just go for the impulse to get a better damage, and that counts a lot, especially for the Hermit, because they have the lifesteal. Okay, the passive ability is the lifesteal, so the more damage I do, the more lifesteal I get, and those are all HP that are going back to my durability. So when you will come to the point where you have to decide between, do I go more for, let's say, let's do it with the Cinder, do I go more for the upgrades or do I go more for the modules? Of course it depends on your resources situation, but in my opinion, for a lot of you, it could, I think it will be easier to go for modules than upgrades, especially when it comes to these ones, to the purple one, because they're very, very, very hard to collect. And for sure, I'm sure that none of you has opened any of these yet. Not for 2,000 golds, for sure. And in fact, what I hear on Discord, nowadays people are mainly working with this one, the quest, the operation, the leaderboard, but I haven't heard many people saying, yeah, you know what, today I opened 3 epic crate for 6,000 gold. Not yet, and I think it could take quite a bit before I hear anything like that. So this is basically the situation that we have nowadays. Who knows if something will change again soon or not. The situation is not so calm right now. There's a lot of turmoil. A lot of players are complaining, are upset. Some are saying, "Ah, I'll I'll leave this game. I don't like it anymore," and stuff like that. So, really, situation is not that easy right now. But I would think that in a few weeks we will have a much better. The situation will be, I won't say stable, but at least we probably will have an idea in which direction things are going. So, for now, this is it. And as I say all the times, ciao.